Hello everyone. In this video, we are going to discuss about the states of a process and the transitions that take place between the various process states. Now, to begin with, let's have an recall about what a process is. By definition, a process is a program in execution, which means anything that is going to get executed on the CPU will be termed as a process. That is, a process is an active entity, whereas a program is a passive entity. So when we say something is getting executed on the processor, it is nothing but a process. So all the data that is getting executed on a processor, we term it as a process. Hence, a process during its entire lifetime will exist in 5 different states. Those 5 different states are new, ready, running, waiting, and terminated. So there are 5 states in which a process will exist. 1 is called as new, 2 ready, 3 running, 4 waiting, and 5 terminated. We are now going to discuss in detail about what is meant by each of these states and how do they move from one state into another with the help of a process state transition diagram. But before that, let's list out all the various state transitions. The various state transitions are admitted, scheduler dispatch, interrupt, IO or event wait, IO or event completion, and exist. So totally we have 6 state transitions. These state transitions will cause a process to move from one state to another. Now let's discuss about the various process states that we listed out in the previous slide and these state transitions with the help of a process state transition diagram, which is shown in the next slide. Now let's discuss about these states and states transition. Now, as we said, we have 5 states. The 5 states are depicted in circles: new, ready, running, waiting, and terminated. And the various state transitions are mentioned across the arrows, that is admitted, scheduler dispatch, IO or event wait, IO or event completion, interrupt, and exist. So these state transitions will cause a process to move from one state into another. That is, if a process moves from new to ready, then the state transition that must occur is admitted. If a process wants to move from running to terminated, then the state transition that must occur is exit. So now let's discuss about when will a process exist in each of these states and what will cause a process to move from one state into another. Now first, let's take the first state, new. Whenever a process is created, the process is said to exist in the new state. Whenever a process is ready for execution, then the process is said to exist in the ready state. So when a process becomes ready for execution, the process which has been created, that is the process which is existing in the new state, has to move into the ready state, indicating that it is ready for execution. That state transition which causes this transition from new to ready, that is called as admitted. Now, we have the process in the ready state. Now, once the process starts executing, then the process will be in a state called as running. So running state indicates that a process is in execution. That is, a process is currently executing on the processor. So the transition which causes a process to move from ready to running, that transition is called as scheduler dispatch. That is, we have the CPU scheduler, which is responsible for dispatching a process from the ready state to the running state. Now, when the process is in the running state, the process might need the use of the input device or the output device for getting input and displaying output, or it might require an event to occur. Say, for example, it needs a process to be created. In that case, the process cannot be in the running state. The process has to move from running to waiting. So whenever an input output or event wait occurs, the process will automatically move from running to waiting. So this waiting state indicates that the process is waiting for an event to occur. Once that event is completed, then the process will get back into the ready queue, so that from the ready queue, it will go back to the running state and continue its execution on the processor. So from the waiting to the ready state movement, that transition is called as IO or event completion. Now, when a process is in the running state, if an interrupt occurs, say for example, a timer expires, the time on the CPU for that particular process is over. That means the process can no longer continue on the CPU. In that case, an interrupt will be generated indicating the timer is off. So, in that case, the transition interrupt will cross the process to move from running to ready. And finally, we have the last state transition exit. Once the process completes its execution, then the process is no longer needed. It can be deleted. It can be terminated. In that case, the process moves from the running to the terminated state, and the state transition is called as exit. So I hope all of you are clear with the various process states and the state transition diagram. So that's all in this video. Thank you.